My name is Rachel Carter, and I am a breast cancer warrior. This is my story. I live in Plainfield, Vermont, with my husband and best friend, Mitch. Our loyal little love bug Cocker Spaniel, Yuli.
Hey, puppies.
Our 19-year-old black cat, Princess Tila.
Hi, old lady Tila.
And our newly adopted big fat man cat, Jerry. Not Jerry. It is currently April 2018, and I'm 42 years old. Our struggles began when we got married in 2011 with a combination of factors that devastated our livelihood. We accumulated substantial wedding cost debt due to financial support that fell through at the last minute. We faced hard lessons in friendship and loyalty that removed us from a social circle we helped to create. I was on contract to write a Vermont travel book that required a full-time commitment with payment upon completion. My planned income while working on the book was from a government contract that fell through because of Hurricane Irene, leaving me with no income until I finished the book, which ended up only paying a fraction of the estimated amount referenced when I began the project. Mitch started his first-time teaching job with a low salary and outrageous student loan debt he needed in order to get the teaching job. Within 2 months, we were living in poverty. We had almost no support system to help. We lost most of our friends, and family was far away and could not understand what had happened. The few friends we had left dwindled to what you can count on one hand, as people could not comprehend our situation and were not even able to hear our story. We sold almost all of our valuable belongings, would walk the back roads picking up bottles and cans for gas money, and signed up for public assistance, but we were not poor enough to receive most of the benefits. We had a $100 a month food budget, and we got sick. Our inability to eat healthy, combined with post-traumatic stress disorder from our own wedding, led to autoimmune disease, anxiety, and depression. My sickness even required surgery, from which my body has permanently been scarred. This is how we spent the first 2 years of our life together. Our married life. But we loved each other. We began a very private healing journey and thankfully had health insurance so we could work through these medical issues. Had we not had health insurance, we would not have survived. The home we were renting in East Charlotte was rotting, for sale to get torn down and infested with black mold and bird mites. All we ever wanted was to have our own home and land so we could garden, play music, nurture the earth and each other. Once the travel book was done, I was able to find new communication and public relations clients. We kept on living in poverty, and I saved every cent I made to get us to a 5% down payment for a house. We found our way to Plainfield, and with some additional support, including a magical realtor team, purchased our home towards the end of 2013, once I had secured full-time work in Montpelier and closed out my consulting business. We began to rebuild our life, and we worked hard to heal from the trauma of the past several years. But we suffered setbacks, including the unexpected loss of Mitch's father. We continued to struggle with financial hardships, anxiety, and depression. My work stress drastically increased, and keeping up with the high cost of living in Vermont became a constant challenge. Once again, my health and well-being was in jeopardy. My adrenal system became fatigued and created a cascade of hormonal imbalance in my body, which caused pain and irregularity in my reproductive system. Some studies link this type of hormonal imbalance to cartilage depletion, which would explain the rare arthritis I suffer from for my age. I was working hard on these issues. This past fall, 2017, when I went to the University of Vermont Breast Care Center for my first mammogram and learned I have hormone receptive breast cancer. I very much think my breast cancer and the fatigue of my adrenal system are connected, but there is no definitive research. Interestingly, there is no definitive research for my type of breast cancer. I have DCIS, ductal carcinoma in situ, which was diagnosed in January 2018. There are cancer cells contained within the milk duct of my right breast. These cells showed up on a mammogram and ultrasound as tiny calcifications within the milk duct. They were supposed to be removed in one surgery, a partial mastectomy at what some people call a lumpectomy, followed by radiation treatments and then hormone therapy. This is no longer the case. My first surgery in February 2018 removed the DCIS calcifications. However, one of the margins contained more DCIS, so I had to go back for a second surgery in early March. After the second surgery, 2 more margins contained DCIS. The margins of DCIS that remain in my breast are so small they cannot be detected on a mammogram or ultrasound, which is why they could not see them during the surgery. They can only be detected under MRI. So in March, I went in for MRI. The reason I did not have MRI when I was first diagnosed is because the oncologist recommended I did not need one, and I trusted their recommendation. I changed oncologists after the second surgery. The MRI showed what looked like DCIS in 2 additional locations from the surgery site, all within the milk duct of my right breast. A week and a half later, these new areas were biopsied in the MRI machine. The biopsy determined these new areas are also DCIS, confirming that I have 3 areas of cancer in the milk duct. Not the typical DCIS calcifications which show up on a mammogram and ultrasound, but tiny cells that have cancer in them that can only be determined with an MRI. This is another way of saying many women could have DCIS in their milk duct even if the mammogram was clear. What can be seen on a mammogram was removed from my breast in the first surgery. The current recommendation from the new oncologist is that I have a mastectomy or removal of my right breast. DCIS is a very controversial diagnosis. Not all doctors agree that it should be called cancer, and many do not think it should be treated the same as other breast cancers. It has only been diagnosed in recent years due to advancements in technology, and there have not been any studies to track if it actually turns into more serious cancer or not. This type of research is just beginning. DCIS is also controversial because many doctors think that the stress and anxiety it creates is more damaging than having DCIS cancer cells in the body. Most of the holistic medical community believes we all have cancer cells in our body at different times, and our body's ability to fight off cancer cells is what can lead or not lead to developing into an actual cancer. Given the research I have conducted, the doctors, both conventional and holistic, I have met with, and my own personal health history, I have made the decision to heal my body and my mind before having another surgery. Fear-based conventional medicine is detrimental to healing, and I want to feel empowered on my journey. This is my body, and I want to listen to my heart and my female intuition and dedicate this spring and summer to a holistic healing journey. I have worked with my naturopath doctors and holistic healers to develop a very comprehensive treatment plan based on food, supplements, herbs, healing treatments, and lifestyle alterations that address the root causes of my health issues, not the symptoms. In September, I will return to conventional medicine for another MRI to see if any changes have been made. And I believe I can heal my entire body and maybe even these microscopic cancer cells and finally be healthy and free from the turmoil I have endured for the past 8 years. and if the cancer cells are still in my breast come September, I will most likely have a mastectomy with breast reconstruction. This surgery will be on my timeline and what works for me and my body. It will be based on empowerment and strength, not weakness or fear. I understand there are risks involved in letting time pass, but these risks are all unknown and based in fear. I have determined that the risks for not addressing my whole body wellness now are far more detrimental to my health. I believe in hope. Hope for my healing, hope for love with Mitch, our animal family, and the earth we nurture. Hope for the friendships that have endured and for those yet to be strengthened and created. Hope for opportunities in my future as an authentic woman of power and magic who is not afraid to express herself and do what is right for myself and for others. So many people have told me, "You got this." And now I know what that means for me. Telling the cancer in my breast and anywhere else that cancer cells could be lurking in my body, I got this. You have been heard, and I am turning all of my energy towards taking care of myself. You do not need to get any louder, and I give you permission to leave my body and return to the earth. Thank you, everyone, for your continued support of our journey. You have given us strength, courage, and resources we need to be empowered to navigate a healing approach for my body, mind, and spirit, and Mitch's role as a loving and tender caregiver.
The Help Rachel Carter Heal GoFundMe remains open, and we hope you will share this video if it has inspired you in any way. Thank you.